Hey guys, Toby Mathis here, and today we're going to go over how to pick the best asset protection firm. All right, let's jump in, and I'm going to be really direct right out the gate. Whenever you're dealing in an asset protection area, you got to understand the opposite. So if you were going to say, hey, I want to understand asset protection, what you really should be doing is saying, how would I make sure that I'm completely exposed and everybody can take my stuff? How would I make sure that I'm an easy target? And you can just reverse engineer from there. Here's one of the most interesting things about asset protection. The very fact that you're using an asset protection plan can be used against you. If all you're doing is asset protection planning, then you fall squarely within the fraudulent conveyance rules of trying to remove an asset for a known creditor if the court says, oh, you knew you were going to owe that person money, or they were foreseeable. You open yourself up to a twisting to where all of a sudden you're in a situation where it's like, what can I do to protect myself? So we're going to flip it around a little bit, and we're going to start right off by saying, well, what can we do to leave ourselves completely exposed? All right, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to own everything in my name. That's one way to do it. I'm not going to carry insurance. There's a good one. Make sure that they're coming after you personally and that there's nobody there to advocate for you. I'm going to just make sure that everybody knows it's me. I'm going to be very blasé, like, hey, I'm rich. I'm going to let everybody know I have tons of money. And I'm going to broadcast it so that everybody knows, so that it's just a matter of time. So an asset protection plan, when we look at it, really should be covering all three of those things. So just reverse engineer and then address. The reverse engineer, own everything in your own name. Okay, don't own anything in your name. If there's a justification to get it out of your name, get it out of your name. If it's a business asset, get it out of your name. If it's an investment asset, get it out of your name. Knocks that one out, right? Carry insurance, not just regular insurance. Make sure you carry the appropriate type of insurance. So if you have an Airbnb, make sure that your insurance company knows that you're doing short-term rentals. If you're a landlord, make sure that they know. Make sure that you have good coverage for your cars. Don't be cheap. And then get an umbrella policy. You get that umbrella policy, so that's lawyer insurance to cover you, so that if somebody comes after you, that you're not coming out of pocket $200,000 to get yourself through a trial. And that's on the low end, guys. That's just regular, right? But here's the truth. And, whenever the truth hits you, you're always kind of like, yeah, okay, I get it. The truth bomb is that litigation is a big issue in the United States. It's a huge issue. It makes a lot of people a lot of money. If I drive through my town, I live in Las Vegas, and I drive down along the strip on the freeway there, it's called the 15, I will see no less than 25 billboards advertising lawyers. The reason that they do that is because they make money doing it, because they're looking for clients. They're agitating. There's no end to it in this country, and if you've ever been on the other side of a lawsuit, where you're not the plaintiff, but you're the defendant, you realize how stressful it is, because they're going to say things that aren't true. They're going to make innuendo. They're going to make allegations that you know are false, and there's nothing you can do about it except defend yourself. It's going to cause you stress. It's going to cost you time. We can't get those things back. So one of the things that you immediately want to look for with an asset protection firm is somebody that's going to help you avoid it. The best way to win battles is to avoid them. And that means, again, reverse engineering. Make sure nobody knows what you have. Keep things out of your name. Keep it private. Have good insurance. And it's like magic. You tend to never get sued. If you do get sued, well, there's enough insurance there. They don't know what else you own. They're going to settle quick. In that way, you're not doing I call it the 3 a.m.s when you're lying awake at night. You're like, oh, I want to sue this guy for this. Or somebody's made an allegation. They filed a lawsuit against your company. They said discrimination or wrongful this or wrongful that, breach of contract, right? And you're just, I'm going to come get them. And you're lying awake at night and you're thinking about it and you're staring at the ceiling and you can't sleep. It's not good for you. It's not good for your heart. It's not good for your soul. We want to avoid that if humanly possible. We want to minimize. Now, there's no getting out of it completely, but we want to minimize it. And more importantly, we want to integrate it. There's too many firms out there that say, I'm an asset protection firm. And that's all they do. It's like one key on a keyboard, ding, 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 ding. And they might be, hey, I do asset protection trust. And no matter what you say, guess what the solution is? It's an asset protection trust, right? It's not really designed for you. You're going there for a product, and they're just selling you the product that they happen to show. Now, here's the problem with that. If that's all you do, you're opening yourself up to legal arguments on the other side. There's a great anti-asset protection attorney who goes out there and busts these things open. The main exhibits he uses are the marketing materials from the firms that advocate for these things. So the easiest way to avoid that, I'm going to give you guys a list, but there's a list of things that you could do. But the easiest way to avoid that precise issue is to use a firm that integrates things. When I say integrate, is asset protection is about lawyers, snoops, and Uncle Sam. That's what it's really about. How do I keep myself safe from creditors? How do I keep it for the frivolous lawsuits to a minimum? How do I minimize my taxes? How do I create an estate plan? How do I minimize estate taxes? How do I keep my, whatever I create, my legacy going? It all integrates nicely. How do I grow my business? How do I grow my investments? It needs to go like this. And so here's some rules for you. Number one, this is the do's and don'ts. So we'll just say, here's a do. Do. Find an organization that does what you do. If you are a real estate investor, find somebody or an organization that are real estate investors. For example, in my firm, my partners and I, we all own a ton of real estate. I own mobile home parks, warehouses, commercial space, literally over 200 single family residences. That's what we do. We live in these waters. If you are a real estate person who is looking to protect your real estate assets, we're a really good fit. We work with small business. We do this, other. There might be other things out there where somebody else, like if you're going offshore, you're doing intercompany, going in between countries. That's probably not us. You want to find somebody who does international trade. You want to find a firm that likely has offices in 2 different countries or 3 or 4, wherever you're doing business. But you don't go to somebody who doesn't do what you do because they're going to miss all the nuances. You want to go to somebody that does what you do. I don't care whether it's your accountant, your bookkeeper should have experience in your area. But for sure, if you're talking to an asset protection firm and you're talking to attorneys, you're talking to consultants, whatever, make sure they do what you do, that they have a good idea about it. I work with traders, real estate investors, and small business all day long. I know, for example, a lot of issues that are in real estate, a few tricks. Like, hey, there's the standard depreciation everybody uses. Do you want to know how to opt out of that and accelerate it really fast and write off buildings in a fraction of the time? Yeah, if you do it, A bunch of you guys are probably going, I know what that is. I know what that is. That's because you probably do it, right? Guess who doesn't know? The firm that doesn't do it. You got to know the issues, and you have to have been there and done that. I've had multiple properties have issues. It's just part of the game. I've had multiple houses burned down. Thank God nobody got hurt. I had a tree fall across one of my houses. Literally smashed the house. I know what that stuff feels like. I know what it's like to get that call. And I know how to prevent, making sure that if something happens like that, that it doesn't expand and take out the rest of your portfolio. We can minimize the damage to you and allow you comfortably to help the tenant. This is what's so weird. Talk to any lawyer in the town. If as soon as they think somebody's coming after you, oh, don't talk to them. You can't do anything. Oh, they'll think it's an admission. You have an employee you want to help. They get injured on the job and you're like, oh, but you can't talk, oh, be careful talking to them. They immediately make you put yourself in check because now I'm in fear that I'm going to say something wrong. You know what? It's great to not have to worry about that. Hey, I know what my worst case scenario is. It's this. But I'm so comfortable that I know that I'm well protected that I can do what's right. So that's a do. Find an organization that does what you do. Don't go to an asset protection only firm. Don't go to that firm that just does asset protection trust. Don't go to that firm that's all they do. They don't have accountants. They don't have bookkeepers. They're not interested in building anything like business credit or allowing you to expand your investments. They don't care. They're just, oh, I'll show you how to hide your assets. We'll go to Nevis. We'll go to this. Don't do it. Lots of people have been put in jail for contempt trying to get properties back. I've seen a lot of money disappear, by the way, when they go offshore in that way. Like, again, just think about it. Hey, I put $1 million offshore so somebody can't get to it. Guess who else can't get to it? Two thumbs standing right here. You can't. I've seen so many trustees abscond with money. It was a dentist once, and he was like, oh, I'm looking at your firm and this other firm. This other firm was doing some craziness Isle of Man stuff, and oh, I'm going to go do this. It seems like you guys aren't sophisticated enough. Well, hey, it's going to cost you 10 times as much as what we would have charged, but go for it. Hey, it's a free world type thing, but just be careful. $2 million disappeared. Trustee just disappeared with it. Well, what do I do? What do I do? You're going to fly over there, go look for your money. So I tend to stick domestic. And unless you have a compelling reason, I want you to stay domestic where you have protection, you have access to your funds. And your plan should work, and it should do multiple things for you. If all you're doing is saying, I'm just hiding assets, not a good look, not going to work. Why? If you're going to do it, make sure that it's giving you benefit on the estate planning side, on the business planning side, on taxes, and asset protection. It's one of multiple things it's helping you with. But you're not just throwing, oh, I'm just going to hide the asset. Do go to somebody who does a comprehensive plan. I look at the 4 things: asset protection, tax planning, business planning, legacy planning. You want all 4 at a minimum. We here at Anderson, I can just tell you, there's more than 450 people, right? Lots of bookkeepers, lots of tax, lots of different doors people come through. But at the end of the day, when we put together a blueprint, we're saying, here's a wealth planning blueprint. Asset protection is a component, but it's not the only thing. You may say, hey, but I'm really worried about my assets. That's the only thing I really care about. That's not the only thing anybody really cares about, right? It might be your top priority, but there's there's tax planning. There's making sure that you still get funding. All these things pop up, in my experience, is that they pop up when you pretend like they don't exist. You go do an asset protection plan, you realize you just gave up your control of your asset. It may have adverse tax consequences. It may enable you, hey, I no longer can get a loan. Why is that? What happened? So you want a comprehensive plan. What you do not want is the one-trick pony firm. Don't use a one-trick pony firm. Go to a firm that is looking for the whole thing, and don't go to, like, again, I've seen this a million times. You go to the accountant, and immediately they start talking S-corps. They will do what they know. And if all they're doing is they're a land trust firm, or they're a corporation firm, or they really believe in LLCs and everybody's going to have an LLC, and they're ignoring other aspects, other things that you could do. LLC is not a favorite. Not the best example, because it could be so many things. It could be taxed as a partnership. It could be disregarded. It could be taxed as an S corp. It could be taxed as a C corp. Very versatile. What I'm more referring to is somebody who has got like this one thing they said it does so much. It's this great special type of trust, and you don't have to pay taxes on it. All you do is you look at them, shake their hand, get out of there, run. You're just asking for trouble. Go to somebody who's going to say, all right, so what are our main goals? What are you trying to do over a longer period of time? Let's look at your estate planning objectives. Let's look at taxes. Where are we at? What are you comfortable paying? Do you have a tax appetite? Or in other words, are there things that are hitting you? Do you need the money, or are we able to defer it? Are we able to use tax advantage vehicles at all? You're looking at LLCs, corporations, land trusts, living trusts, CRTs. We're looking at LLCs, LPs, statutory trusts, common law trusts. What are we looking at, and what could help? What state are you in? What statutes are we dealing with? Is this your residence? Is this other property? What's the homestead exclusion? All these things come up, and you want to make sure somebody's actually dealing with it. Here's another big do. do go to somebody who's going to educate you. Gone are the days of hide the ball. Used to be that lawyers would hide the ball. All the answers were in these books that were on their shelves. If you wanted to know the answers, you had to go to them so that they would open up that book and charge you an exorbitant fee to read what was in there that was applicable to you. Nowadays, you have the internet. Nowadays, you could go in and, like on a channel like mine, like my partner's Clint's, there's hundreds of hours of free content to make sure that you're educated so you know what you're doing, so that when you work with somebody, they're able to say, you get it. You know what we're talking about, and this is what our objective. So I could see your issue, and here's what we're going to do for there. And you get to make a judgment call. Do I need to go crazy on a plan? Could I keep it minimal? Could I keep it really simple? My experience is simple is better. Can I keep it very simple? Yes. Here's the downside. Here's the upside. Make an intelligent decision because you've been educated, because somebody is free with their information. I don't want to put my wallet in your back pocket. I want you to decide, hey, here's good, better, best. Here's options. Me personally, I think that simpler is better. Something that's really hard to screw up and that's going to work, that's good. But some people are really like, oh, but I have ex-spouses. I got this situation. Okay, we can be a little more paranoid. We can build a little more of a comprehensive plan just in case. But for the most part, you can accomplish everything you need in a very good plan. And you blueprint it out and you make sure that it's going to work for you. You implement it. You don't have a lot of upkeep. And you're not paying somebody thousands of dollars a month so that they could, every question you have, they're billing the heck out of you. At our firm, for example, we have a very low cost monthly item, as we call it platinum, where you can ask lawyers any questions. We don't want to play hide the ball. Gone are those days when that's what lawyers did. It's a new world out there. There's tons of information. What you want is someone who's willing to share it with you. What you don't want is somebody who's just going to rake you over the coals every time you have a question. I always call it the love letter. You call up somebody and they send you a love letter, which is an invoice with a bunch of numbers on it. You're like, I don't remember talking to him for 15 minutes. I called him up and asked him, what's the status of this? But why is it 0.3? Right? We've all been there, done that, got that t-shirt. Other thing, don't use people that don't have privilege, that aren't fiduciaries and don't have privilege. Please make sure that you're using professionals, licensed professionals, CPAs, EAs, attorneys, fiduciaries. If you're dealing with financial planners, make sure that they're fiduciaries. In other words, they have to put your interest before their own. You're not dealing with just somebody who's schlepping a product. It's the old adage, if I go into a bank and say, what should I invest in? They're going to open up a savings account and sell you some CDs. Not in your best interest. They're going to make a ton of money because they're going to have all your money there at a really low interest rate, probably 0.5% nowadays. Right? Your money's literally melting. Inflation's killing it. All right. Don't go to someone whom asset protection is also a one-off. Don't go to somebody who has a larger firm that does, hey, we do personal injury, we do some L&I over here, we do some SSI over here, and oh, by the way, we have an asset protection section, and here's the 3 people that put some of their time towards it. Don't do that. Work with somebody who does what you do in a firm that's dedicated to handle people like you. There's a lot of folks out there that will go to a CLE, take a course, I might be teaching it, and then they slap asset protection attorney on there. No, you need somebody's experience. That's what you're trying to do. The other thing that you'd want to avoid when you're in that setting is make sure that you're not doing someone who plays both sides. That's a personal injury attorney who does asset protection. I've always found it's just not the right mix. If you're going to be, it's really kind of, you have to be one or the other. Like, I know a lot of personal injury attorneys that are great, fantastic people, and they know to send them over to me. If you get into a car accident, I know to send it to somebody who's a good person, who's not going to try to overtreat you or jam up your meds so they can get a bigger settlement. And they also don't take huge chunks out of you, right? Like, they actually have some ethics. There's a lot of them that are like that. Unfortunately, there's a really vocal minority that's not like that, that's given the profession a bad name. But you want to find somebody who's really focuses on your side. On your side. Make sure that you're doing something with people where there's a privilege involved. So when you're discussing things, you can be open. and is putting your interests first. Make sure that you're dealing with someone who works with people like you and is on your side. And that's it. At the end of the day, it's not a lot you can do. Like, you can sense it when somebody is full of it. I always say it's the BS meter. You can tell when somebody doesn't know what they're talking about and is just picking up big words and repeating them. And that's usually people that are learning out of books only. They read about it. Maybe they went to a class. Maybe they went to a couple CLEs and they read about theory, but they don't know how it actually applies in the real world. We've lost a lot of that, kind of that, real world common sense. And in the world of asset protection, tax planning, legacy planning, and business planning, a lot of it is common sense. Like, if I get somebody, I get this all the time. Hey, I want to pay no tax. I'm like, well, if you pay no tax, you're not going to look very good to banks. Well, what do you mean? Well, if you're investing in real estate and you're doing loans, you're accumulating your real estate and you're leveraging some of this. Well, yeah, but if you don't make any income on your W2, like on your 1040 on your tax return, banks aren't going to want to lend to you. They're going to think that you don't know how to make money. They're going to have a problem with it. Or if your companies are doing this, you're being a little bit too aggressive. So maybe we should talk to your lender first, right? Before we do anything crazy, why don't you just ask them, hey, what do I need to see? What do you need me to look like? And they might say, I need you to be making $100,000 a year. I need your personal credit to be over 720, right? And they're going to give you some things that you can really target. And then that way, somebody isn't going too crazy and hurting you, putting a plan together. And the only way people are going to know this is if they do it. I've been there, done that, got that t-shirt too. Think I'm a genius. Yeah, zero tax. Look at me. IRS kicked me some refunds. And then when I go in and I'm trying to get a loan, they're looking at me like, hey, you don't make any money. It says here that I don't know how you're making a living. Well, I use this real estate plan. Oh, tax cheat, huh? No. You want to work with people that know what you're doing, that have a community. And this is also a good one, is that works with lenders and things like that work with people like you. So if you are a small business, there's specific types of lending for small business. A lot of people don't even realize there's separate credit bureaus. And you have to go in and make yourself look the way that they want you to look so that they'll give you the keys to that kingdom. And it's completely separate than personal credit. You may have to use some of the personal credit to get over there, but you got to know about it. And the only way you're going to know about it, if you haven't figured it out now, I'm just going to repeat it again, is you have to have done it. You have to work with an organization that's been there and done that, is in those waters every day, so that they can spot an issue that you never even thought of. And that's why you're going and using their expertise. It's because they've seen it. Hey, I got your real estate and you're doing this. Well, what about this and this and this? And I wish I had a nickel for every time somebody that was in a high income profession like a doctor said, hey, I bought this little property. I didn't think it was, I don't mind losing that property. And it's in their name. I'm like, you do realize they could garnish you for the rest of your life and then go after your estate, right? You think that you're going to isolate it. No. They can only get the equity in the property. That's not how it works, right? We need to isolate that. And then we also need to isolate your properties as you grow them. We should really isolate them from you. You're a medical professional. You have liabilities too. You have a family. I'm sure you drive vehicles. You get into a car accident. You let's say that you do the most, like, oh my gosh, I fell asleep. I was working so hard. I fell asleep. I rolled over and I hit a family of 4. And I did not mean to do it. You want to make sure that that family's compensated for their injuries, but you don't want them to get, whoever the big guy on the billboard is that's going to say, I'm going to ask you for $10 million. I'm going to take everything you own. You want to make sure that you can minimize that. And there's ways to do that through your plan. So again, it goes asset protection, tax planning, business planning, and legacy planning. They all go together. So when you're looking for an asset protection firm, make sure that you're dealing with somebody who does what you do and has the full gamut, that component, has the experience in it, is willing to give you set fees for the most part, and is willing to give you a ton of education to make sure you know exactly why you're doing what you're doing. It doesn't do you any good to put a plan in place if it's just going to fall to the wayside after a year or two because you don't understand it, you don't know what's necessary to keep it going, and you get frustrated. Make sure you're working with somebody who's going to educate you on what it is that you're using, why you're using it, and how to make it a benefit. You do that, you're going to be a winner. If you like this type of information, please share it. Please subscribe. Please like this video if you actually liked it. And if you like getting these videos, you can click that little bell and it will send you out every time we have new content. And if you have specific things you'd like me to address, or any of my partners, you just put in there and say, hey, wait, why don't you cover this topic, Toby? And you put that in the comments below. And that's where we get a lot of our ideas. Thanks, guys.